Attention. Welcome to the Different Spectrums podcast. We dive into the wild world of mental health discussions. Get ready for profound talks, a sprinkle of humor and sarcasm, and a touch of colorful language. Just a quick heads up, our show reflects our individual opinions, which may not align with the standpoint of the podcast, our featured guests, or any related corporate entities. Our mission? To illuminate through laughter and satire because everyone needs a good chuckle. Chill out and don't stress over the small stuff. Legal troubles? No, thank you. Cancel culture? Please spare us. We'd rather keep this space lawsuit free. So buckle up, have a good time, and join us as we navigate the vibrant realm of mental health on the Different Spectrums podcast.
All right. Hey, everybody. We back again.
We back. We're live.
I'm Spencer, and of course, we have our licensed clinical therapist, Nas.
It's me.
Good job.
Yep.
Remember, don't take us too seriously.
Or do. It's completely up to you.
Also, don't forget to run up those likes for us. We'd really appreciate it. So, today, you may be wondering, why am I whispering? Why would I be whispering? I'm currently in the lobby of a Holiday Inn. And so I don't feel like yelling right now because my room is running. Man. So I'm going to be extra quiet today, and I'm probably going to not curse as much as I usually do because I'm in public. So with that, we'd like to welcome back our great guest, Lacey. Lacey, hello. Welcome.
Hi.
Yes.
Hello.
Yes. Welcome to Silent Library.
Yeah.
Silence. Anyways, welcome back. We're happy to have you again. And it's been too long.
Yeah.
Long time. I know. I'm
Like
happy to
3
be back
years.
though. I feels like it.
It's pretty close.
It's been a
not gonna
minute.
lie.
Yeah.
But yeah, so anyways, today we're actually going to be talking about a TV show on Netflix, Sex Education, which is such a great show to talk about in public right now. I feel very comfortable. Very comfortable.
What's the title of the show again,
Um,
Spence? So you
It's something education.
okay.
Chex Mex
It's
education.
Foreplay education.
Doesn't make it better. Doesn't make it any better.
Yep.
Thank you. Appreciate that.
No.
So some
Where the
things
feet
that
at?
we're going to be talking about today, are acceptance in community, relationship with God when it comes to like LGBTQ plus members, and also how to support those who feel unwanted. Some very heavy topics, some very heavy scenes. Nas, anything before we get into the show?
It's heavy. Spencer, real quick. So for all of those, we got the warning intro. I'm gonna make some jokes here now. Spence, so is this your sex voice? I got a feeling it's close.
My voice is, I don't say anything, so it's more silence.
Oh, okay. I figured this would be like, your warm up, but hey, how you doing? Girl, how you doing, man?
Let's do this.
I love you, baby.
let's throw the hot dog in the bun, if you know what I'm
Oh
saying.
my God. Well, I can only think, is there mustard?
Just because there's definitely mayo. All right.
Oh
Anyway.
my God. Hard pivot. Or some of you might be a soft pivot right now. So, so yes, we want to do these scenes. We thought it'd be awesome to have Lacey on the pod to do this with us, a member of the community as well, instead of just like two straight men being like, hey, this is what gay people think. Don't feel like that would be the best. But also, this is a wonderful series and show that I've enjoyed for a while now. This is season 4, which I think came out last year. It's definitely 2023. But this character been through some shit in all the seasons, and I feel like now there's this climax of like him and acceptance. So we're kind of going to build into that. I've had a lot of clients this year too of just a lot of religious stuff and being queer. And what does that mean? Does that mean you're a good Christian, good Catholic? Does that mean that you're going to hell? What scriptures prove and don't prove things? It can get real intense. And it could lead to a lot of obsessive, compulsive issues. It can lead to even suicidality. It's kind of the reasons why I wanted to get into it, because it leads to that deeper shit, which is like super scary. So kind of what I want to do. We're going to have some fun in this, remember that. The last scene will probably be a smidge more serious because we're going to be talking about suicidality. So trigger warning for that. We're going to get into some trans related issues and some deep suicidality and how to talk to people, but also maybe not take on the full burden and set boundaries. So, affirm, validate, and refer. So it's kind of where I'm going with this. Let's get into it. Let's have some fun. Let's see if we can get Spencer to say random shit in a hotel. So, can I get a whoop whoop climax? Whoop whoop climax, Spencer.
Me? Whoop whoop. That was confusing with the whispering. I was so confused. I was ready for it too, so now I'm upset. I was ready.
Whoop whoop. We'll do it again. There you go.
Yeah, let me yell whoop in a fucking hotel lobby. Jackasses, both of you.
Yeah, do it.
No.
Yeah. Express yourself, Spencer. We're all about freedom here.
Get to the damn show.
We're in America. Balls out. All right. So stupid.
Hey everyone, thanks for watching our show today. We just wanted to take some time to give a special shout out to our collaborator, Cat and Raven Design. They are a small queer-owned business that specializes in LGBTQ plus pride soaps. They have great designs, some that even look good to eat, but don't. You can get 10% off your entire order if you use the code DSP or go to our link tree. Help support this great small business and help give back to a great community.
Hallelujah! Please be seated. It's now time for our baptism. Adedayo, my son, are you ready to take this next step? Do you renounce all sin and accept Jesus Christ as your Lord and Savior?
I do.
Would you like to share anything with your community?
I've done many things in my life that I am ashamed of. Things that have made me unclean. But today, I turn my back on sin and thank God for his mercy, that I can be reborn and made pure.
Praise God! It is my honor to baptize you in the name of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. Eric, it's your turn. Are you ready to take this next step? Do you renounce all sin and accept Jesus Christ as your Lord and Savior?
I have something that I need to say.
Hallelujah. Speak your truth, Eric.
I don't know how you're all going to feel about my truth. I thought God wanted me to be baptized today. And I wanted to make God happy. I wanted to make you all happy. especially my family. But I can't stay silent any longer. I have to tell my truth, otherwise I will be half a person and I can't live like that. My name is Eric Effiong, and I'm a Christian and a proud gay man. I know a lot of you feel that what I've just said is sinful and that I need to pray for forgiveness, but you're wrong. My heart is torn because I'm in a position where I have to either choose to hide my truth and live in pain, or be honest and lose my community. I keep getting told that I need to wait and be patient, but I'm tired of waiting. And I love myself too much to not tell my truth. So, if you love me as I am, I will be baptized. But if you don't, then I must leave.
I love you as you are, my son.
I have my answer. Oh my gosh.
Hey! Excuse me! Excuse me! You've got my phone! Excuse me! Give me my phone! Oi!
I know you. No. Look, I couldn't get baptized. Okay, I can't be something that I'm not.
What do you want from me? Why are you laughing?
Because you've done exactly what I wanted you to do. Today was the start of a long and hard road. I will be with you every step of the way. You will change hearts and minds and let everyone know that I love them for who they are. This will be your calling. It will be your life's work.
I don't think so.
I made you this bright so that others would see in the darkness.
What do I do now? Oh, no more poo, please, I beg. Cal? Cal? I think people are looking for you.
I've been here for a while. I don't really know what happened. Then I got scared, and then couldn't go home.
If you want to talk about it, I'm here. But also, if you just want to sit in silence, then we can do that too.
It feels like I'm drowning. I can't wait any longer, and I wish I could make it stop because it's never gonna change.
It's gonna be okay.
I don't think the world really wants people like me in it.
Cal? Cal! Oh, you're okay, thank God. There's like search parties looking for you. Everyone was so worried.
Are people angry that I worried them?
No one's angry. They're gonna be happy that you're safe. Cal, I had no idea that you were having such a difficult time. I'm so sorry that I let you down.
We should have all done more to show you just how loved you are. Things have to change, Cal, because people like us aren't going anywhere. I know that the world can be harsh, but you're not alone. We need you here with us. Shall we take you home?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Hey everyone, have you been looking for something to help you when you feel extra fidgety? How about when you have a sensory overload? Well, I'm here to introduce you to the Oh No Fidget Roller. It helps me regulate and also feel at ease. The Oh No Roller comes in 5 different materials, including plastic, aluminum, steel, titanium, and silicone. You can use our code DSP10 to get 10% off your order when you visit onoroller.com and get your roll on.
All right, and we're back again.
We're back and we're live from Kansas City.
One of us is.
Yeah.
One of us. All right. Anyways, so before we get into the show, Lacey, we've been talking off air, and you said you've been going through some things in your life. This sounds so much weirder that I'm whispering it, but it is what it is. Do you want to tell us what's been going on with you professionally and personally?
Catch us up, You know,
Yeah.
spread the sugar.
So lots of transitions, new job, change in relationship, moving to a new space, kind of finding myself again outside of all of that. Just because I feel like over some of that time, I did lose kind of who I was. So been navigating some of that stuff. I can definitely say that I am feeling like the best version of myself that I have had, like that feeling in a long time. Picking up new hobbies, doing all that kind of fun stuff, getting back into the gym and all the healthy habits. So it's only going up from here, but yeah, lots of transitions.
Revenge bod coming? Is that what happening? Revenge bod?
Hey, you know what? Summer's right around the corner. So we'll
Like,
see what
oh,
happens.
just posted something on Instagram. Hello.
Yeah. What do they call it? Hot girl summer? It's coming. It's right around the corner.
It'll be here.
I don't like that. I know this stuff. It is what it is.
It is what it is.
It is what it is.
So, talking about relationships, what was kind of like, you don't have to go too personal, but like, what did you feel that was like the breaking point for you in terms of like the end of a relationship?
Yeah. So I think just to summarize everything, just in general, I think that I tend to enjoy somebody who can, I guess, listen to my feelings and be able to talk things through, communication wise.
Yep.
And I feel like I wasn't maybe getting a lot of that. So that was kind of like the big gist of all of it. Obviously, little things here and there that I could throw in if I wanted to, but no hate against my ex and everything. So a lot of it was just the emotional side of stuff. I need a lot of that emotional intelligence, maturity in a partner. And I don't know if I had a lot of that. So, nothing wrong with that. Some people can manage with that, but I do tend to like to express a lot of emotions. And I guess as a therapist, it kind of goes hand in hand that I'm pretty good about expressing those things and trying to work through them and feel them. And I know not everyone has that. A lot of people lack that kind of ability, and that's totally fine, but I know what I want to need. So here I am.
Yeah, I got a question for that. Right, it started as a neurodivergent pod. It still is a neurodivergent pod. But, we get into a lot of different things here. And so this is a common thing with our folks as we get told, maybe we're too much or too emotional or maybe we're not enough and we're shutting down this and that, right? There's both ends of the spectrum. But very often you'll hear you're too much. And when folks can't reciprocate or verbal joust with us or process or debrief with us, it's tough. To have a verbal processor and then the other person be more reserved and stoic or just shut down. Shutting down is different than being like anxious and like, yeah, it's different. So I feel like a lot of couples or even friends, like you got to have it. Your communication skills got to be tight and relationships got to be tight. So if it's not working, it's not working. My question for you is right. You're juggling a lot of shit. You got work, right? You were always working at the other place and it was a tougher job from what I remember. Now you got a new work. Plus you said you're doing this licensure shit. I'm going to act like I don't know what that is, but obviously I know what it is. So I've heard that's quite fucking terrifying, and the studying and the anxiety and the ramifications if we don't pass, right? So how are you doing juggling all this stuff and just trying to be a normal human?
I'd like to think I'm actually doing really well. It's nice that I have a lot of time to spend focusing on studying or managing my workload. And it's all on me now rather than, having to juggle also the balance of having a relationship and having to put a lot of focus on that. But yeah, I'm studying for 2 exams. I've got my art therapy board certification exam next month. And then I'll hopefully be taking the other licensure exam, maybe over summer / like August or something, to become independently licensed as a LCPC, which is super thrilling. But yeah, no, having this much space to be able to reflect on myself has been very helpful with all the transitions for sure.
Any weird thought spirals, doom spirals where like, I'm a piece of shit?
No, to be honest, I feel like I've
Jesus.
been pretty well the entire time that this stuff has been kind of happening, which is very shocking for, I guess, me as an individual who does tend to kind of latch onto things and get really upset or anxious or depressed about some of these changes. But I felt really positive the entire time, which was, like I said, a big shock. But I don't know. I guess it means that I made the right decision and it was time for a change. Like I said, I can't really speak too heavily on some of the stuff that I've went through. Sometimes this is just how life works out. Nothing against anybody in my past. It's just life.
Okay.
Spencer.
So, Spence, Spence, what I'm hearing is, between me and you, this is me and you talking honestly, but we act like Lacey not here.
Yeah. Just get her out of the call.
Spence, I need you to do a voice for me if you're cool with this. I think Lacey's in her Sif girl moment. The hate has made her so strong.
So much hate.
Do it. Do it.
She's fully gone to the dark side.
Yep.
As soon as we see those pictures on Instagram, like, yep, there she goes.
There she goes. There she goes. Damn, girl, where you get that from?
She's here. Other than just taking gym photos.
Yeah.
Therapist.
Yeah. Hey, Yeah. She says it fuels her. She's like, I'm not sad. That's because you're angry. No, I'm not angry. You sure?
I'm just existing.
No, it sounds like you're doing okay.
Power.
I'm telling you. Mm-hmm. Yep. The other day I was telling a kid, hey, sometimes, you visualize killing motherfuckers,
Oh my God.
Okay. Yeah.
Hey, I didn't say we're going to do it. I'm just saying, sometimes, intrusive thought,
just pull back the curtain and,
hey, little Chucky doll, me and Chucky team up, Uh-oh. Look at Spencer's like he's got something going on. All right.
Can we pause real quick?
Go ahead.
I actually have the room ready. So.
Oh, they do? Oh, cool. Go up to the room, yeah.
Awesome.
I'll be right back.
Yeah, you can log off. Yeah.
All right, and we're back again.
We're back, huh? Where are we at?
Finally in the hotel room. Yes.
Yeah.
I can be as loud as I want.
You in there with your hoes?
Yep, all of them. Every single one of them. All from Kansas City.
Well, tell Bobby I said what's up.
They're big broads. All right, anyways.
Jesus.
Anyways, back to it. So, thank you, Lacey, for giving us an update on your life and how you have no hard feelings at all. Nothing. Feel nothing.
Sometimes it just happens. That's it.
There you go.
Look at you.
Yeah.
Overcoming.
Yeah.
Look at you. Sometimes you gotta kiss a few frogs. Sometimes you don't realize that it's a bird shitting on you before you figure it out. So
why did you put like two metaphors in one?
Yeah, you did.
My father says I'm special.
Is this the great quotes that you say in therapy? Write it down.
Nostradamus, boy. I got the shit, boy. Mm-hmm.
Nostradamus. All right.
I got the sugars. Okay.
Anyways, so like I said before, we're doing the Netflix show Sex Education. So say first, Lacey, what do you think about the show? And would you give us like a little bit of a rundown of what it is?
Yeah, I'll do my best. I feel like I suck at that. But yeah, so I loved the show. I actually only watched it because you guys had asked me to be a part of these clips a long time ago. This discussion was a very long time ago. We've kind of pushed the schedule around a bit. But I love the show. I think that it's funny, it's engaging, it's very, I feel like, real for some people's experiences growing up through puberty and exploring their sexuality and actually engaging in sexual acts and being confused and doing the wrong things. And I know I've been through some of that. But basically the show, to sum it up, is like high school, then to, I think, college. The last season was a little confusing, as we talked about. But just like I said, kind of the growing up and the experiencing lots of different sexual struggles and drama in high school and all of that stuff. I definitely highly recommend it. I liked the last season, but Nas did not. So
I liked it. It just, I also don't like new characters too. Then they're throwing on all these,
fair.
Stick to the main cast. Stay on the main cast. They're like, we're going to add in 50 different characters that you don't care about, but we're going to make you care about.
Okay, you know what? Stranger Things does it, and you have no problem with that. So,
Oh, whatever. Well,
Yeah, they do.
yeah. I
yeah,
don't have any gay
Yeah.
comebacks for that one. So
thank you.
fuck you.
All right.
Uh,
Sorry.
no, that was a good description of the show.
Mhm.
It's so many different things with the characters. Just when it comes to just exploring your body, self, partners, sexuality. So if you're, are you straight? Are you cis? Are you aromantic? Do you have the one boy has like just sexual issues, period, the main guy, and he can't have sex at all, and it leads back to finally season 4 of like him walking in on his ma, like screwing someone, and it's like this, he just can't do it, and he goes back to thinking of his ma. It's like, it's interesting. And the mom's a sex therapist, so he technically becomes a sex therapist for the whole school, and yet he can't have it. It gets real interesting. There's a lot of awesome stuff in there about disability stuff too, and kind of navigating sexuality with disabilities. And we're like, people in wheelchair don't want to have sex, so it helps out a lot with ableism in the show.
Yes.
Talks a lot about queerness, like I said, mental health issues, anxiety, depression, suicidality. Obviously, most of the stars are men, so it does a lot just working with men and sex, and like, what does it mean to be feminine or masculine? It's a lot of good stuff in there. Dom have seen it. Spencer's partner, right, said it's hilarious and it's crazy.
Mhm.
There are some moments where it's super cringy where I have to shut it off.
Yes.
I'm like, yeah, there was one moment in season 4 I like literally just turned the shit off. I'm like, I'm gonna come back to this next week.
Yep.
I'll be ready.
I'll be ready. Where's I'm not even gonna say it.
Yeah.
So that's an introduction kind of the show.
Mhm.
These scenes, like we said, are very specific towards, just church and religion. I'm gonna steal something and kick it to Lacey. Are you a spiritual person or religious person? Did you grow up religious or no?
No, I was so I was adopted and then I was converted to Judaism. So I
Okay.
did all of the going to Hebrew school, Sunday school. I had my B'nai Mitzvah with my twin brother. And then my family kind of let us decide how we wanted to approach religion when that was done. They just kind of wanted us to do the whole traditional stuff and figure it out. And I kind of decided to not pursue a lot. And over time, we celebrate little holidays in my family for that kind of stuff, but we're not religious, very reformed. I used to do a lot of yoga, so I would consider myself spiritual back then, but I don't know if I really follow anything specifically now.
Yeah, no organized stuff.
Yeah.
All right. Yoga's a cult, so you gotta be cautious with that.
Don't you get those yogis on us?
I know.
Yeah.
I tell my clients that are scared. I was joking. That was sarcasm. The cult thing, just for the guests. Not the guests. Goddamn, the followers. I always tell people, yoga is literally just stretching and farting. That's all it is. Girls, women like to feminize it, and it centers your body. It makes you fart.
This took a turn.
Tush in the air, gas let out. Okay. Are you relaxed? Very relaxed. I think I just shit my pants.
I don't think I could get any more relaxed.
I wear a diaper in every session.
Wear that in life, anyways.
Yeah, this the heavy one though.
Nothing getting through that one.
This the sumo diaper. Jesus. I don't even know what the fuck I was going to ask now. Spencer, are you a religious dude or no?
No, I say more spiritual than anything. Yeah, I just feel like having something there to really kind of, set boundaries for myself in terms of just life really helps, kind of goes along. And sometimes, sometimes we also think about consequences when we have religion in there, which sometimes can be good and bad because we say, oh, I don't want to do a certain thing because, I might go to hell or anything like that, or I just might get punished for it. And so I kind of feel like in my everyday life, I feel like I'm having more of a spirituality than anything. I would probably say I'm more like agnostic than anything,
Okay.
like just like in the middle,
Wonderful thing I heard a while ago about agnostic is, people say there is a God. Agnostic folks say prove it. People say there isn't a God. Agnostics folks say prove it. And I kind of like that description of it. In the middle, it also just prove it. Where atheism, you're like, no, there's nothing.
Right.
Spencer, were you born Christian or baptized or anything like that? Were you dipped in water?
I was not. I was actually more Catholic because my mom's Catholic,
Okay.
and then my dad is a Methodist. I want to say, I think he's
Okay.
Methodist, and so yeah, I always love soul. I always love when like there are choirs, especially black choirs and stuff like that. I love that type of stuff. I can listen to like all those different types of music and everything like that. And even though it is about God and stuff like that, I still love listening to it because it feels a lot more positive, and just I love the spirituality of the music itself.
Yeah,
So
black churches can get it going, boy. Yeah. It can get going. It's pretty cool. It's pretty crazy.
yeah, the services are like 3 hours long, and I'm
Yep.
like, my dad was the drummer for his church, and so I'd be like,
Boy,
wrap it up.
wrap it up. Lacey, is there like a baptism for like folks that are like Jewish, or what is the whole process over there? I don't know.
So that's the bat or bar mitzvah, or for twins, it's benot, banat, or b'nai. So benot, I believe, is 2 girls, so siblings that are girls. Banat is boy, and b'nai, which is what me and my twin brother did, is for boy and girl.
Okay.
So, and then bat girl, bar guy. So yeah, when we're younger, we go ahead and have that once we've learned how to read our Torah portion and understand the Torah portion, and done like some sort of like service that surrounds that type of Torah portion. So yeah, it's not water, but we read from the Torah.
Okay. Well, I'm here to tell you right now, Lacey. This is why you're on the podcast today. Do you accept Jesus as your Lord and Savior?
I'm just getting baptized.
Yeah.
Someone throw some water on her ass.
This is an e-baptism. This is
Yeah. I'm gonna shoot you an email. Just accept the email. Accept the cookies.
Go to the bathroom right now and just drown myself in some water.
That's it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yep. You've been saved. I do apologize for a lot of folks that are spiritual or like religious. Me making those jokes, but it's just fun sometimes. So I'm sorry, but also not. It's fun.
It is.
Baptized Catholic. Then, father went to prison, and then we grow up in whatever church like my grandma was in. So you got Christian churches that are in there, non-denominational churches, but then my grandma was like taking over a lot of the parental stuff. So then we'd like Jehovah's Witness for a long time, and all those Bible studies, which are intense, and like, ain't no birthdays, ain't no parties, ain't no liquor, they don't do nothing. Some great people, but a lot of people say it's a cult. Great people. They always treated me nice as shit. And then, there's a bunch of other churches that we're going into. So it's just a lot of religion stuff. But then you get into your master's degree and your PhD, and you're like, so this religious stuff, guys, kind of shady. Like, there's a lot of people that died in the name of God or Jesus or whatever. There's a lot of like religious war crimes. I'm like, Remember asking my one professor if she was religious because it was the topic. And this is kind of what she told me, what I just parroted. So I don't practice any organized religion is what she said. So that's pretty much what I say now. When shit hits the fan, you better believe I'm praying to someone. I'm gonna lie. When shit, you see that cop getting ready to pull you over. Please, God, don't let this white man shoot me. Please, God. It's a real prayer, man. Please let them remember the toppings on this burrito. Please, God, let me not get acid reflux.
Extra beans, please.
Or like last night from when I was driving home from my boys and I had jalapenos the day before. Please, God, let me not shit in my new car.
The seats aren't leather and I can't wipe it off.
Yeah,
So,
you know, God. I made it. I made it. Thank you, God. Thank you, Christ. Praise Jesus. All right. So I want to talk about this because spirituality looks like it's touched all of us, and it definitely forms a lot of our childhoods because we're not really in full control of those things. In saying that, a lot of people grow up with a lot of different stuff and a lot of religious trauma or oppression or, you know, suppressing a lot of different things. I have a lot of clients what we call scrupulosity, which is built on the morals and tenets rules of like religion and what you're supposed to say or scripture. And it can lead to a lot of crazy stuff. So we're going to get into the actual show now instead of being like idiots. I'm sorry, Lacey.
It's good. I like it.
Okay. Well,
you like it? It's nice. Hey, so do we.
Hey, maybe you are crazy. I'm sorry.
I mean, yeah.
Yeah. Well, you know, people, you know, anytime someone likes a Spencer, I'm like, who hurt you?
Like, why? Like, oh, they've been through some stuff.
Yeah. You've been hurt, child. Come here, baby. Come here, baby. Sometimes I'm like, where are you on the scale of autism? If they're me and Spencer's friend, are you like eating Legos or, you know, you like curating computers?
We usually get the Legos. We do not get the computers.
Yeah. Yeah. We don't get the smart ones on this pod.
Legos.
That's a joke. They're salty. Good crunch. As we get into this first scene.
Yes, finally.
I'm sorry. This is the only podcast of the week. Like I got a lot of juice today. A lot of juice.
So much sauce.
So much sauce.
All right, don't do it. Don't get back in the tangent. Just keep on going with the show.
Lacey, so he talks about, I mean, you can talk whatever the hell you want about in the first scene when he's in the church. It's a very emotional scene. Serious talk now, obviously serious voice. You see his partner of somewhat getting baptized first, right? Because a young gay black male, and then right, he's going to get baptized. His mother's in the crowd, who loves him dearly, but everyone tells him to shh on him being queer or dressing a certain way and acting a certain way. And he's really been in this whole dilemma, the whole series, you know, leading up to this. Do I get baptized? Does Christ want me? Am I doing the right thing? Should I just stop my sexuality and just be with my people in my community? Because his whole thing is, I love my community and everything that they do. And he tries to put on this like nonprofit thing. And like the church is all for it. And they're going to help do all these donations. And then they realize it's a lot of queer kids that are doing it. And they're like, no. He's like, you're going to take away all this stuff we're going to give away to people that need it because we're gay. Yep. Yeah. That's fucked up. Because a lot of people could have been benefited from the things that they were going to do. So you can shoot wherever you want on this clip, where it was at. What were your thoughts on the clip?
I feel like it can be very real for people. Obviously, I'm not super involved religiously, and I will speak from my own experience. I have had a very happy and healthy experience with my journey in LGBTQ stuff. So I've been very fortunate, but that's very real. And I think it's hard to see it portrayed in a show, like very really like portrayed, because you don't often always see that side of stuff, but you hear about it. And it's sad. I think it's really sad to know that there are people out there with so much hate towards individuals where we're not defined by the way that we speak about our sexuality necessarily. I think that's why there's a lot of people who don't define themselves now, and they might be queer in general, right? To kind of sum up that they just have an identity somewhere else that they don't really want to put a label on it. because of these things. And this is kind of why a lot of people don't come out, I think, as well, because of losing some sort of sense of community. It's that double-edged sword of, if I don't say anything, I'm going to hate myself for however long this is. Or if I do say something, I'm going to lose the people that I've loved for so long, who have known me for how I've been this entire time. That's hard.
Yeah. I actually have a question also, but it's not really relating to your journey on LGBTQ. It's more of, did you have the same like positive reaction when you also came out as bipolar as well? Or was that also, or was that the opposite reaction because people already have their connotations about bipolar disorder?
Yeah. I feel like for the most part, mine was fine. I am fortunate enough that the people I've surrounded myself with over time have been, I mean, great people that I still have connections with now for the most part, and then new people. But yeah, when I talk about my bipolar, I'm not usually given any type of judgment from most people. I think there's obviously some people that'll have their hidden types of thoughts and stuff like that, but in front of my face, not necessarily.
Yeah.
Yes.
Turn the mic.
Yeah, they're fucking might have to pause it. They're out here fucking power washing the damn. Can you hear the power
Right.
washer out there going or no?
No.
No.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna keep going then. Fuckers. It took me a second. I'm like, what is this noise? Oh, it's a power washer.
Yeah, they were vacuuming outside my apartment a little bit ago, and I was nervous about that.
Okay. Yeah, I don't hear anything, so we're good.
good.
I also thought when you were speaking about, do you betray yourself? And like you said, do you just hold it in, or do you tell people and then they freak out? But also, what happens to your friends or your partner if you don't say anything, right? And you gotta kind of hide it. Me and episode almost talked about it, might have talked about it in the TED series that we just did a podcast on, where she's in a gay relationship and there's a lot of issues with the dad and homophobia and this toy truck that comes to life, which we're not going to get into. And she's like, well, I'm gay. And he kicks her out of the house. So there's a kind of a nice story arc right there. I think it ended well. I don't know if it ends well for all my clients. But like, that's a harsh moment. I would assume, well, I can assume, but then also talk about my clients, is when they're not able to tell people that they're with someone. It's even like some of my clients are like, hey, don't ask, don't tell type of vibe. A lot of my clients is don't ask, don't tell with the parents. They know the kid is queer, but they don't want to hear about it. And I can't even imagine the pain of when my clients will ask like, hey man, so there's a chance I'm going to marry this person. Like, will you come to the wedding? And parents flat out, no.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, bruh. And they're always like, it's fine. Is it? They're like, no, Nas, it's not obviously fucking fine. I don't feel like crying in front of you right now for the next hour. I got other shit to talk about. Oh,
Right.
Sorry. How's your schoolwork? Jesus. It just feels like that would be tough. What he says in there that you have these two lives. Which one do you affirm and validate? And then he starts to cry, and he's like a magnificent crier. I don't know, it's just the way he like gets choked up and breathes. I think they had the microphone really good on his breath too, because you could hear him. It's just the kid's looking for acceptance all the time. And he had the hardest time throughout the series accepting himself just for being queer. Then he has to do this community thing. Just a tough situation. I feel like many folks are in that situation. Spencer, being folks of color, I feel like we always say this in our community at least. If you're a gay woman, maybe because it's more masculine, it's okay. But then gay dudes, nah. People are like, nah. I don't know. Do you feel like you've seen that too as well, where if it's a gay male couple, then people are like a little bit more sus about it because they're like, that's real gay. But if they're masculine and a woman, they're like, that's not bad,
I mean, I feel like there's definitely more stigma around certain types of couples, for sure. I think, unfortunately, when we think to like lesbian style things. I think there's a good portion of people out there that are like, that's hot. Like, because there are females that are not lesbian that will do those types of things because of the attraction for other people.
Yep.
So I feel like there's a lot of that where it's not as, it's frowned upon by a lot of people, obviously, just being in the community, but I feel like it's definitely not as harsh sometimes around stuff. Now, I'm not trying to compare anything or anyone's experiences, obviously. But yeah, I think there can be a difference.
I think there's also a big thing too is I can't remember where his family's from. I feel like they're Nigerian, but I can't fully remember. So the church is also very much enrooted in that culture. I know many cultures, these things to be queer is like punishable by like death. It's like illegal. So I think also if you were doing therapy with a client like this, so like me and Lacey, you'd have to make sure you have that context. So spirituality and Christianity is like massive in many other countries. So the mom is, right, an immigrant. So you got to kind of remember that. You can't just be like, oh, you know what? Just be gay as hell. It's fine. Your parents will love you. You know, hey man, that shit don't work with every client. You're like, Nas, you don't understand. Like to do this would be against the entire family. I would lose everything. But you know, you're an American. And my students would be like, we're not fucking American, dude. Like, and even if we are, we're, you know, like second generation, like we're still deeply rooted in our stuff. I remember, and then Lacey, I'll kick it to you if you have any client experience. I remember one of my boys, he's like, yeah, you know, it just feels weird anytime I do this thing. And I was like, I know exactly what you're going to say. He's like, yeah, man, I think I got an issue. I was like, you're going to say porn and masturbation, aren't you? Yep. Okay. Yep. It was interesting because every time folks will engage in any type of sexual activity, that immediate shame, the immediate, like, I have sinned, is like a horrific thing. So it doesn't matter like what your partner is, even just with yourself, it's a mortal sin. And so working with clients and like, no, maybe it's okay. It's really interesting to tell people it's okay if you touch yourself, Johnny. I didn't know I was getting into that business.
Yeah.
I didn't know I was getting into the pro porn. Sorry, I'm not. Well, the interesting thing is because we talk a lot about like sexuality in therapy all the time. I had a human the other day. He said, is it TMI to get into this? I said, I literally just got done talking to a student about the science of kissing and the genetic swapping of like saliva and other things. Students like other things. So I was like, I'm not getting into it. But even people just being with themselves is like seen as sinful. I can't imagine what he is going through. Can't imagine. Lacey, in your line of business where you're doing therapy, have you had any sexual like talks when it comes to like identity, queerness, or just like sexual dysfunction, stuff like that? I want to say some funny stuff, but I'm trying to be serious.
Yeah, I mean, when we talk about queer related stuff, so LGBTQ related stuff, I've got many clients who identify in the community, very open in session about it. I think obviously I provide a very safe space and I'm very open about myself being in the community, which I think allows these clients to feel open to talking about certain things. I will bounce off of the whole like, you know, nervousness to talk about something specific. And I always laugh when a client says that. And I'm like, the things that I have heard, like, I guarantee whatever you tell me is going to be fine. You know, I was like, I'm here to listen. Like, tell me the tea. I want to know. Like, I don't care how bizarre you think it is. It's probably not going to sound that way to me. So that's always funny. But yeah, no, I've got a lot of queer clients that are very open about stuff. And then I've also had some couples who do come in and we have to talk about the whole like sexual stuff and whatnot. Not gay couples, but I do work around some of that stuff, obviously. Yeah, I don't know. I haven't also been at this specific position for too long. So I think obviously I'll probably get more clients that have different struggles in that specific group.
I'm just going to keep muting it. Yeah, I'm just going to keep muting it because it's super loud, dude. I think it's interesting helping clients navigate. A lot of my neurodivergent autistic clients navigating not even queerness, but, you know, are they romantic? Are they asexual? Is it, are they demi? Are they sapiosexual? Like, what is really going on? Or would they be okay with some touch if it built and built and built over a slow period of time? I've had some students, clients, same thing. We're like, I'm 100% like gay as hell. I'm like, why? Because like I don't want to be with my partner at all physically. And then they break up. I'm like, yep, you're gay. You're definitely gay. One of them sent me this document of like a screener of like if you're gay or not. I was like, it was like 30 pages, a master document manifesto if you're gay.
Oh my God.
If I can find it, I'll send it to you. It's manifest.
I mean, if you really need to know that bad, I mean,
they did
30 pages.
It was nuts. I'm like, I'm not reading this shit. I ain't gonna lie. I told them I read it. I didn't read this shit.
Oh my God. I wonder if I would, where I'd fall on that.
I'll send it to you.
You're straight. You're like, oh, yeah.
That's why your relationship didn't work out. You're straight as hell.
Maybe we'll find out. I'll take the assessment.
Take the assessment. Well, hey, Jesus accepts you now. So
yeah,
that's true. I'm okay.
I'm gonna
welcome.
That was funny and also like completely terrible because I don't want any people to think that, because I do not believe that religion gives a fuck at all.
Sure? You've been saying it.
Religion doesn't give a shit. Your real spirituality does not give a shit about who you're having sex with.
I hope not.
Yeah, I hope not. Yeah. Otherwise,
forgot to mention as well, like I do have a client that identifies as trans.
Okay.
Which is very, I think I like working with that kind of stuff and helping be a support for someone navigating such a large change in identity. I feel like it's kind of nice to feel so included and like such a big support, because that is such a journey for most people. And they are young, very, very young. And so it's pretty neat to see what that looks like for somebody else. So yeah, I just wanted to throw that out there.
Yeah, just navigating any of this stuff is awesome, dude. It's what'd you say?
Every time you turn your mic back on, I feel like I have to say that. Mic back on.
Mic is back on.
Such a long pause.
Back on. You help people navigate it, man. It's actually fun as shit. What do you like? What do you not like? It turns out that one client, it wasn't that they were gay. It was that they just weren't made for their partner, and they found another partner and they were happy as shit.
Right.
I ended up seeing this human like legit. This was years ago. I ended up seeing this human recently, and I was like, "Oh, look at you kissing that tall boy. I see you. Motherfucker got a job. Okay." Immediately, I think to him, he doing good in school. I'm like, I'm not her dad. Why am I thinking like this? Motherfucker got insurance.
Pay off all his loans.
Yeah.
Nope. Neither did anybody else. Okay. Good.
Nope.
Good.
Good. No sex.
Yeah, you should definitely implement that as a therapist. Don't do it.
Don't do it. Don't. It's just gonna create more headaches. But
do you like it? Do you not like it? I don't know.
Well, some of my clients that are on the spectrum, they're like, every time I get into a relationship, I'm overwhelmed and overstimulated and like terrified. And I said, yeah, that's dating. Like, I hate this. Like, why would I sign up for this? Because it leads to like all the good stuff after like a few weeks to a month. And they're like, when does it get to that? I'm like, it's, you just went on a couple dates. Chill out.
Wait a minute. Hold on a second. Do you get nervous when you like date and stuff?
Yeah.
But like, how for like, is it a month long or is that like?
Oh, it depends on like when do I get comfortable with them? I think there's a breaking point. There's like a threshold for me when I know like I'm good with any human, like whether it be therapy, romantic, didn't matter. Friend, person at Kroger, didn't matter. There's like a point where you're like, oh, okay, we're good. Like we're cool. I can say a few things. We're good. I think when it comes to dating, I don't know. There has to be like some type of not only connection, but like it's okay for me to be stupid and like kind at the same time, where I don't just have to be smart, but I can also be an idiot. I think maybe it's when they're idiots and I'm like, oh yeah, okay. Then I think I feel even better
too.
Yeah,
awesome.
Yeah. Your father dropped you as a baby? Oh, okay.
Oh my.
So I do get nervous, dude. I get real nervous, and then I play everything back, and I play it back, and what did I say? Why did I lick their feet for so long?
You just always take it to a whole other level, don't you? Yep, there it is. He's single, folks. I wonder why.
Hey, but again, it's interesting to help some students find also like what are their. That is not my kink at all. But what is the stuff that you like?
I'm just throwing it out there for the lady.
No,
Not my kink.
I'm like kink. Like a nice candle being burned on me, you know.
Yeah,
Like
there you
little
go.
Nicky.
That is not a joke, folks. I like that.
Spencer, hold a flashlight. uh, I think even this behavior that we're doing right now, though, it makes things really comfortable when you're talking to people about sex, because it can be really weird. But if you come into it and like this, you'd be surprised. People are like, oh, we can like talk about this, figure some things out, and then it's up to you to go like experiment. What a lot of my clients say is, well, I'm just using people, aren't I? I said, they're having fun too. Okay. Yeah, let's be real. They're dating you. You're hot. They're hot, right? You're funny. You both are having some, what we call orgasms. It'll be okay. Okay. You know, if you're lucky. Yeah. For me, it's just a lot of tears.
Oh.
I know I didn't do anything.
I'm not gonna get into it. Again, sexuality within the church is a crazy thing. Let's pivot into scene 2, but God comes. Spence, you knew God was a black woman, didn't you?
Every day of my life. Every single day. I've seen it.
You knew it.
I just love also that she's wearing all red, like the devil.
Yeah.
It's like that was a weird, because they don't like, not like all white. I guess not. I mean, you know.
So the fingernails were kind of long and like spiky looking.
I'm thinking that was the devil, but it's fine. Move on from that.
So the devil's making us gay now.
Yep. But don't not say that.
I'm just saying, that's what you're saying, Spence?
I think the show is saying that. Like, yes, bring the darkness. Bring it.
It's all full of lies. Lacey, second scene. What stuck out to you in that scene? There's one thing I want to talk about. What stuck out to you in that scene?
I mean, I feel like the conversation that they had just after he had gone through the whole rejection from the people that they were his community, I thought that it was a really touching type of thing to almost be validated and, you know, supported after that, after he'd kind of been running away from everything that happened. And obviously it led to a nice discovery. I feel like it almost redirected him into community again, like, you know, going to help somebody else who is also experiencing hardships with their own identity and the struggle with what other people view them as. And I thought that was beautiful. That was kind of the connection I made. And also bouncing back to the last thing, I think that this season does a really good job at building up someone's character and providing them a community. So even though he went into that, you know, situation of talking about him being gay and being rejected, it's nice because it really does show that even though that community didn't really appreciate him, there's this whole community now from that school that has supported him and guided him into being able to open up to the people that he knew might not accept him. He wouldn't have done that, I don't think, if it weren't for these people that he met at the school who are all a part of that community. I think that's beautiful.
Back on.
He's back on. 100% agree. How do you... No, I'm going to switch a different track. A lot of us will bend the knee and submit to a lot of different things that people want us to do, unless we have like legit strength in who we are and identity in who we are. Well, we don't just gain that by ourselves. Majority of us, it is fostered by love and validation of affirmation from others. You know, sometimes we do need others to kind of tell us who we are when we're struggling with this other population that's saying, no, you're going to hell because of this. Like, how do you push through with something like that? It has to be through love of other people. In that scene, we see his boy Con, and they're having a fight, because he's a straight white dude, and he's like, man, you don't get it. They have a big blow up on you. Don't get what it is to be with us. He said, just leave. Don't worry about it. Just be who you are. He's like, you don't fucking get it, man. I'll lead group therapy, and kids will say certain things, and I'm like, pause. I think we're missing something, right? As you as a white individual, as America, don't understand my international kid that's dealing with a lot more shit than what you are in a certain context. Sometimes we need to pause. We can only see things from our point of view or frame of view, our lenses. But you're right, the dialogue was intense. Her saying, right, I made you so bright so that others can like see in the darkness. It was something like that, wasn't it, Spence? And then she grabs his face the same way in This Is Us, where he always grabs his kid's face, and like his dad would grab his face, or not his dad, his boy in the military gets his leg blown off, grabs his face and like kind of holds him, rubs him like, hey man, you're gonna be okay, breathe. I lost my shit. I started crying every time I seen that scene. You son of a bitch. Why you do this to me? I've thought about a million different people that I think the same way of. There's a lot of folks that are bright and bubbly and awesome and warm and kind and loving and queer as hell, straight as hell. And people like to diminish people like that. And like, don't be positive. Don't be so warm. Don't be so energetic. Protect yourself. Be paranoid. I think the world likes to put a stranglehold on all those really bright things, and it dulls you out. I think all humans get dulled out. The creativity goes, you go to high school, middle school, and you just become a robot, go to school, make money, die. It's kind of depressing, but kid told me the other day, she's like, for real? She's like, what am I supposed to do with my life? I said, we need to have some more sessions, it looks like. Okay. See, a couple weeks. It's an intense scene and things when clients are going through that, especially if they're autistic and everyone tells them that they're too much, like me and Lacey talked about earlier. Too emotional, you're too fidgety. You see, it takes you too long to explain that you're just too much. And I think that's bullshit. And it does a lot of harm, a lot of rejection, dysphoria, especially if you're queer, especially if you're trans. I think of me and Spencer, how many people tell me and you that we're too much, that we're too ridiculous. Yeah. That we're idiots or that we're childish, and we are. We are. And that's why people smile. Well, you don't always have to be funny, but I don't think it's a trauma-based thing anymore. I actually just enjoy being funny and weird. Yeah. I'm not doing this to self-soothe you. I'm doing it because I'm laughing at this shit. And I'm laughing at you laughing. It's a whole thing. So when people are like, oh, you're just doing it as a trauma response. No, fuck you, man. I'm having a good ass time over here. I don't know what you're talking about.
Some people just can't have a good time.
True.
Some people just like to sit in misery, right? It always goes back to Star Wars, man. Suffering. Them some suffering motherfuckers.
Yeah. Oh, you think you're funny? Yes, bitch. Fuck.
Yeah. And I think that's a big deal with a lot of folks that are neurodivergent. As that we think different, we act different. But people will always want you to regulate and come back down to this neuronormativity thing. And it's terrible. So he is a bright light in the all the seasons. Like, he's magnificent. I love his character. I forgot the white dude's character name. I fucking hate him with a passion. Like, he's just a spoiled little fucking anxious. I hate anxious people. That's what it is.
Yeah, it's because he's white.
His mom's hot.
I mean,
well, I mean, yeah, that's Gillian Anderson. She's OG.
Yeah, she's a baddie. I would not be with her physically because she intimidates me, but she's gorgeous.
That's okay.
so the main.
Go ahead.
His name is Otis.
Otis.
And I know a lot of people are also iffy about Maeve, but we're not really talking about Maeve.
Hey, I love Maeve. She was in Barbie too.
Was she?
Yeah, there was multiple characters from Barbie that were in Sex Education.
I think I saw Barbie before I saw Sex Ed, so now I feel like I have to rewatch Barbie.
Well, now we know why you're confused on
you
things.
rewatch everything.
Yeah,
You never
it's
saw,
fine.
you never
I
had
love
sex
her.
ed until later on. That's why you were gay. There you go. My sex education in like middle school was like, this is a wiener. I was like, I knew that's what it looked like.
Ah, we found it.
They're like, this is a vagina. I was like, what the fuck? Jesus Christ.
It was like squinching, like that doesn't look right. No, no.
Are you in pain?
Does it hurt?
How do you pee?
Yes.
I'm still trying.
I had a client ask me at my last job. So this is when I worked with like the disability side of stuff, who was also transitioning just with their gender to female. And I had the question of, what does it feel like to pee as a female? And it threw me off because I was like, not once have I ever thought about that, nor do I know what it does feel like because I was like, I assume it feels the same as when you go to the bathroom. I don't know.
That's a real meta question. I want to pee like you. Hold up now.
I was like, I don't even know how to respond.
To be fair, I remember one time in physiology class.
Here we go.
I was talking in community college. This is one of the reasons why I got kicked out of the big school. We was doing a lab. It's all anatomy. And I said, hey, man. I said, why? This is really TMI. I said, why is it that when you poop, then all of a sudden you start peeing? He's like, you drop them, See, this is why people hate our podcast. And he's like, nah, it's got something to do with the sphincters relaxing. I'm just saying, why is it when you poop, then you pee?
I feel like that makes sense.
Yeah, it's something about relaxing and some neural thing and all that. The way he looked at me, though, he was like, huh?
We got one of them. All right.
Yeah.
Nazir.
Autism. He's also like, I'm going to record our discussions from now on. So
make sure I can't get sued.
I think my dad might have asked me that one day. He said, it don't make no sense. So I'm like, fuck, I asked a guy that knows all about anatomy. Walk into class, raises my hand.
Sir, may I ask a question? Yes. This must be a good one.
Why is this diaper full?
Wasn't.
I love questions that are kind of out of nowhere that make you think. And that's why some of the questions my clients will ask me, they keep me on my toes. Sometimes I feel like I don't ever make fun of the questions someone asks me because they're all very valid.
Yeah.
I think that I laugh at myself because they do come off out of nowhere and they really do make me think.
Do you have
like
any?
the whole peeing thing? I was like, not once would I ever have thought of that question, but I guess it's valid for someone going through a change.
Do you have any other questions that people caught you off guard?
I don't know if I have any specifics off the top of my head. But one other thing that I will say is that oftentimes in our field, people come to us with all these questions and think that we know every single answer and that we're gonna provide all of this and that, they're gonna see change super fast because of it. But I'm gonna tell you right now, I'm human and I don't have every question in the universe. I too see a therapist because I too need help and guidance sometimes. But we are not we're not God. We don't have all the answers in the universe to everything that's happening, which I wish we did, but we don't. So when someone asks me certain questions, I'm just like, whoa, where did that come from? And I have no idea.
Yeah, sometimes they're good.
They are, yeah.
It's like when you both are sitting there in like introspection.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or like when I look away, my client's like, what are you looking at? I'm like, I'm trying to think, dumbass.
Yeah.
I'm trying to visualize, what you just told me, the stupid shit that you just told me. Here's something for you. The other day I was in group therapy and I got an intern, and this intern's magnificent. Like, Spence, Serena very well on the podcast when we first started. She's one of the best therapists I've ever met. Awesome human. Terrifying. Awesome human. And I got this new intern that's she good. She's really fucking good. But, I'm way out there as a therapist. But I talk a lot of shit and I'm playing a lot of mind games at all times. And so I ask her, the student says like, they're terrible at this one thing. They're terrible at this one thing as a person, identity, personality. And I throw it to her and She was just so caught off guard. I said, so-and-so, does this person act like this? They're like, well, no. I said, say it faster. She got scared. I said, does this person come off as this, terrible or mean or condescending? Well, no. And then I just kept doing it to where it was all no answers. Then I look at the client. There you go. They were all no. Very factually, aggressively no. And the kid's like, the girl comes to me afterwards. She's, why did you do that? I was so confused. I said, sometimes you can disprove someone's bullshit thinking patterns of themselves, which are technically are valid, the emotions. The thoughts are irrational. And when you pose these questions and they all start to stack up as irrational, irrational, they're like, holy shit. So I like to be at sometimes like just a fucking machine gun going off. And when you talk to therapists and you like to show, it's funny, but it works. There's so many out of the box things to either ask questions or get things to come across to people, and it's magnificent. I've had other clients be like, Nas, this therapy makes no sense. Like, what are you talking about? Like, we're in here just laughing. Like, shouldn't we be talking about like heavier things? Yeah, we're going to get to the heavy stuff. Can you handle the heavy stuff? No. Oh, okay. So why the hell do you want to just die? Well, we need to figure it out. Well, let me tell you something, jackass. You got your exam coming up this week, don't you? Yeah. So why would I deregulate you right now in the office, make you cry, possibly suicidal, when I know you got shit to do this week? Maybe there's a plan. Can you tell me the plan from now on? I said, I don't always know the plan.
Uh-huh.
There's usually a plan, though, as therapists. Like you said, we're imperfect. Sometimes I forget things. Sometimes maybe I, forget to push. And recently a client brought up, they said, hey, man, can we talk about that one thing in the past from my childhood? I don't know what you're talking about. Well, that one thing that we brought up, last semester, how the fuck am I supposed to remember that?
Yeah.
So then that's what we did. We talked about it for 2 weeks in a row, and it was like deep and it was heavy and tons of connections. But sometimes it doesn't always need to be us always posing all the questions. Sometimes they need to come from, like you said, the client.
Yes. Yeah. I've had clients come in who will sit there, and I love silence. It's a good challenge for people to come up with something to talk about instead of me having to push all the time. But so many clients will go, well, aren't you going to ask a question after we've just sat in silence? And I'm like, well, I asked you a question about, what do we want to talk about today? How was the rest of your week? Like checking in about things, and they have nothing. And I'm like, how am I supposed to ask a question if there's no like guidance on where we're even going today? I don't know everything. I don't know what you want to talk about. I have no idea what's going on in your life. That's hard.
It's so, students don't get it. I'm like, girl, you got to give me something.
Yeah.
I'll ask them, so I'm going to kick you. You're the boss now. I said, I checked in with the things I need to ask. What is it that you want to talk about today?
Yeah.
And sometimes they'll go down a road and then sometimes they won't. They're like, I don't know. I'm like, I don't know how to therapize. I don't know.
Right.
How can I help
Right.
you in any context? You want to ask me about fucking Pokemon, Bitcoin? I'll tell you some shit about Bitcoin.
Mm-hmm.
Fuckers. They got me.
That's real good.
Got me real good. Right in the button. It's so interesting when clients, and then sometimes they'll come up with things and you're like, I have no idea how to respond to this, but we're going to sit in it and think about it.
Yep.
Therapists do go to therapy. One thing that I did want you, I like that you mentioned. At the end of the day, me and Spence always talk about like therapists being human and like all of us just trying to figure shit out.
Mm-hmm.
I posted on Threads the other day and I was like, it's interesting how all you therapists talk about like all this positive shit. But like, I know all you're like hurting and super burned out, and like we invite you to pods and then you tell me like how you're dying inside. Obviously you don't say it's public and I'm not going to put you on blast, but most of y'all are pretty fucked up. And like, maybe if authenticity were to come through, then maybe people would get more of a healing than just you saying like stupid shit.
Yeah.
Positive vibes, y'all. Picture. I'm like, how does that help the kid who feels like shit? Maybe if the therapist is seen as imperfect and struggling, then that'll make other people feel like we're not up on the pedestal.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm very open about a lot of stuff in therapy sessions with clients. I know we all have different disclosure that we're willing to give. I tend to be pretty flexible about certain things as they come up if they apply and feel appropriate to me, obviously. But I've heard from clients that it helps them feel really comfortable compared to maybe other therapists, because they do get that sense of, man, been there, done that. Let's explore this together. right? I don't like when people come in and expect us to just be this by the books, clinical, like checking off boxes, because that's not true. And it shouldn't be like that. That, in my opinion, is not therapy.
Me and Spence talked about in the last couple of podcasts, all that is centered around whiteness. It's all centered around men and whiteness, the professionalism, all that stuff. It's all bullshit. Interesting question. Do clients ever ask you about your relationship status or if you're queer or if you're dating anyone?
Yeah, well, I did have, so I'm not, it doesn't really matter to me. I would keep photos on my desk about stuff. So yeah, questions did come up.
Is that your cousin?
But nothing, yeah. Nothing was ever super deep though. I think that people would just ask how I was and how things were, and I'd be like, oh yeah, things are great. Like, thank you for asking. But yeah, no, never once. I don't care about people understanding the relationship stuff. It is a part of who I am. I don't feel like I need to hide that. But I know some people have other opinions on that, and that's totally valid and fair. I just don't have much that I feel like I need to hide.
It gets interesting with me, Spence. People be like, Nas, you dating anyone? Like, why are you asking? I will answer everything. I'm like, why are you asking? No. Well, I just want to know, do we need to set you up with someone? Like, Jesus Christ.
I know someone who's perfect for you.
I know.
Right.
I'm like, girl, stop. Send it to me in an email. Encrypted. Yeah. What's she smell like? Jesus. I scared myself. Yeah, I scared myself with that one. But like students will ask if like I'm gay, or if I'm dating anyone. Have I been in long-term relationship? Have I been in love before? Because they want to know, like, how do you know? Because I'm educating them on certain things. How do you know? Well, there is a lot of learned experience and lived experience that I teach from. And a lot of it is not always about relationships when it comes to romance, but also just human to human. A lot of this stuff is transferable. Earlier, you talked about communication with your partner and how some things were lacking here and there, and it hurt for a long time and things were getting shut down. It can be like that with your friends as well. Like, we're all the same fucking people. Just one you happen to, like, touch a little bit differently than your friends.
Yeah. Yep.
Hey. And so we transfer a lot of those skills of emotional intimacy with everyone. So some people like to see what my resume is. I'm like, what do you want to know? Why you want to know? With my older couples, I usually like to ask, you married? You got kids? I ain't got no kids. I got my best friend's baby. And they'll be like, that don't count. Well, fuck you too. That's why your husband left you. Comments like that. Spencer's like, fuck, man. It is fun when clients ask that. I always get kind of intrigued. I was like, where are we going with this, girl? She's like, how old are you?
Mm-hmm.
I think at the time, one of my kids, I was like, I'm 28. She's like, I thought you were 35. Fucker. It hurts, man. It hurts. It hurts.
Yeah.
Or when my students would be like, do you lift? The fact that my student has to ask me if I lift makes me feel fat as hell. I'm like, you can't tell? Like, you
Next
think
time you're just walking with a barbell, it's just curling.
I'm just like, can you not tell? Does my chest not look like it's got mass on it? Like, I feel like I got a decent amount of mass. I feel like I got a heavy chest.
That chest looks like a heavy one. Like a heavy chest.
I feel like I got a good bosom on me, Whatever. I'm not gay. Again, pivoting back to the fucking scene, I'm sorry. Him crying again. The biggest thing when he first says, when he screams out loud, I actually get kind of emotional during that, because he screams with a ferocity, and Spence knows like yelling freaks me out. He's like, I can't do what you want me to do, God. And I think many of us has been there in relationships or anything. But I can't be who you want me to be. As me and Spence talked about, we can't be these uptight professionals. Like, we're going to say and do certain things. I can't. And I think that makes a lot of us feel very scared. Some folks suicidal, some folks like me that, you know, people push too hard, and then I start to get a little violent in my head because I'm like, I'm not doing this. Anytime I get backed into a corner, I start to freak out. So when he yelled, I've been there. I've been there in meetings, HR meetings. I've been there getting kicked out of schools, internships, not getting jobs. I've been there in behavior modification stuff where everyone's trying to force me to become something. Even graduate school, people were saying I was this or that, or I didn't dress correctly. I'm like, why do I have to dress nice for class? Like, I'm just wearing basketball clothes. Like, who cares? Everyone told me at every single point I needed to change. I remember people looking at me like they were completely disgusted. I remember everyone's face when they see me as like smart and educated, and they're like, holy shit, you did that? I remember the voices of friends back home that'd say, you're a therapist? You. Like, it's a horrible sting. Like, what do you think I was? Sorry. You think I was just fucking retarded? Like I can't fucking read, or like I don't have emotions? I told the therapist the other day in the office. I said, so you know I have emotions, right? Oh, I know you have emotions, Nas. I didn't mean it like that. I said, okay, you know, just saying. Everyone else you treat a little bit different than me. I get I like to talk shit, but I got emotions too, asshole. I just can't fucking spell, so that's why I don't put nothing on the birthday cards. Oh, okay. Now, if you send some email shit, I'll type a nice shit up. You know, it's going to be ChatGPT, but I'll type it up. I love how people like to fuck with me, man. Just because I'm a big boy doesn't mean that I ain't got emotions. Bitch, I'm a better therapist than you. All right, I'm done with my rant. People love to put us in a box, man. You know.
Yeah.
The fucking closets I got to fight out of.
I don't need to do it again.
I don't need to do it again, you know. Jesus. Thank you, Lacey, for struggling through my rants. Or just riding. Thank you for riding out the rant.
Oh my God, I love it. You know that.
That's what they all say right before they say I'm too much.
Yep.
Been there, done that.
I know. You see, I keep throwing these subtle daggers, so hopefully everyone's listening.
I'm getting it. I'm getting it.
What happened?
All I can see right now is me, Lacey, and Spencer in training day. I'm putting out, I'm not going to swear, on all you. And F
You got the TV version.
Yeah. This is the Barbie version.
No.
All right, this last scene.
Yes.
So, right, again, trigger warning, because I'm going to go into a little bit of suicidal stuff. But Lacey, again, opinion, and then Spence, maybe opinion was going on about that, because it was kind of weird for a second there. But Lacey, what did you think about it, and how would you approach it as a therapist, as a clinician, as an empath?
So the scene that we're talking about is the one where
They're on the ledge.
On the ledge, yeah. So I feel like the way they portrayed that was an ideal way that I think somebody would want to be approached when they're in that headspace or mindset, where they came up gently, and I think we're just trying to talk. It wasn't a whole don't do this, don't do that. I think it was the genuine understanding of like, please tell me what's going on. Like, I want to hear about this. I care about you, right? Rather than, I think, sometimes shoving other thoughts where it's not really, I care about you, I just care about you not doing this. Like, yeah, we care. We don't want somebody to do X, Y, and Z. But I think I would have probably approached it in a similar way, of just kind of wanting to talk things through and be able to understand the root of why are we feeling this way, exploring the types of supports that we have around us that I think sometimes we tend to kind of skip over. It's very easy to do that. Making someone feel like they're not alone, which I know can be hard for somebody who's maybe not also identifying the same way as somebody else. But I feel like there are ways to tie in a way that we are connected still, a way that we do show that we understand and that we've been in some sort of situation similar sometimes. But yeah, I really like that scene. I think it's sad that not everyone experiences friendship and support the same way when they need it. And it turns into things that I think a lot of us don't want to think about.
Spence, you've been in the situation with friends, family members. I know you've got other people with mental health issues that you've supported, talked to. Me, batshit crazy. Man. Do you think that you've approached things like he did in this situation, or do you think you approached more like hot and fiery, like the other dude that comes in? Hey, where the hell you been? Are you more like the other dude? Where like, hey man, yeah, you get what I'm saying.
Yeah. I mean, I would probably have to say a more of a subtle way, especially if it's more of like it's not literally somebody on the ledge, but like they're getting to that point.
Yeah.
Which you could do like imagery for that one, someone literally on the ledge. But yeah, I try to bring a little bit more subtlety and just come in and yeah, where have you been?
Yeah.
It's a little much.
Well, I don't think he handled it very well. I will say, I think the last guy that came in, and I'm so bad with all the names, but the one that came running in and was
Jackson.
very in your face, I don't think he understood the context of what was actually happening, the extent of it, obviously. So it's nothing on him.
Yep.
Because he came into this situation completely blindsided about why this person was sitting on a ledge.
Right.
Definitely don't do that. I like what Spencer said. Like, that's not the right way to do it.
I guess
You almost kind of have to have care with it instead of just being like, this is a moment about me.
Yeah. Right.
So the reason why I wanted you to talk about Spence, because you're not like this licensed therapist type of thing. You're a normie.
Some have never said that to me in my lifetime.
I know.
Thank you.
I told a student the other day, I said, man, fuck those normies. And she was like, I've never heard anyone say that. I said, yeah, well, they're not autistic. I don't know what to call them. I mean,
you're like Magneto. It's like humans. Ugh.
Bleh.
Gross.
Yeah.
Hate them.
Infidels.
Mutants are the best.
Yep. Hey, separate but equal. I'm joking. Do not agree with that, Lacey. That's a horrible. Do not agree with segregation.
I feel like the things that come out of everyone's mouth here throw me for a loop sometimes.
All right, we won't play back the clip of you nodding to that.
I'm telling you. Things that get thrown out, things that get put in,
They're catch you off guard.
Yep.
Just like clients.
There you go.
I'm just like, okay.
You're just like, I'm not judging you, person-centered. Girl, you need Jesus.
I like to confuse them. I'm like, oh, magic.
I like to keep holy water in the office just in case,
Baptize someone.
Exorcise the demons.
Yeah.
Yeah, but Spence, right, you've been in this situation before, correct?
Mm-hmm. Definitely.
You ever get a little worried that you didn't handle it appropriately, or do you usually feel kind of confident afterwards?
I mean, there's probably other things I could have said in those different moments, but at the time, it's like I'm not an expert, so it's like I can only say what I can, and so I just go by my gut feeling, and I've been raised well enough to where I can open up, and hopefully other people can open up to me, especially in that moment, if they're going through that. But at the same time, it's just kind of having a subtlety and just talking it out rather than just being like, so why, like, asking them questions and stuff. It's more about just talking through it and seeing where that goes, and talking them off the ledge. They don't question you off the ledge, it's talking you off the ledge, right?
Yeah. The reason why I'm asking you these questions is because I have a lot of clients that ask me all the time, even some that are in therapy with me, how do I help this person that's suicidal? What what do I do? I'm not a therapist. I don't know, did I do the right thing? I said, it's pretty simple, man. You just need to sit down there, and it's one human to another. You're just making sure that they're cool in the moment. I said, it's not up to you to cure them. I said, you come to my office, did I fucking cure you in the last hour? Are you fixed? Did you get to healing? It's like, no, I didn't fucking fix you. Like I don't have fully have the answers, like Lacey said, right? Where it's a slow progression. So I've been pushing people lately is even with some folks that are getting ready to have some very difficult conversations with their parents this weekend and next weekend is I don't want them the person that they're talking to get really defensive and angry. So there's a way to go about it as you start in with, hey man, how you doing? I'm worried about you. There's some things I've noticed with your behavior or whatever's going on at these last altercations, and I'm just worried about you. You go in hot and heavy on how they're acting suicidal or crazy or dangerous or impulsive or they're drinking or smoking too much, and then it's going to get defensive. It's going to blow up. It's going to be horrible. You go in there with like love and empathy, they're probably going to warm up to you and say something. Then every human asks, well, what do I do when they say like concerning stuff? So you're just going to hear them out. And then you're going to refer. You're going to refer them immediately to the hospital, 911, if shit's really there. Or you're going to try and help them find a counselor the next day or later on, do some Googling. You're going to call 211, which is the information hotline. Or, what's the suicide hotline now? It's 411? Crap. Spencer, look this up, please.
Memento.
Yep.
I feel like it's 411.
It's just the same.
988.
It's 988. There it is. It's 988. Yep. It's 988. I think either the information is either 211 or 411. It's 988 for the suicide hotline. It's the same massive number that Logic sung that everyone loved years ago. And so your job is to refer it. The responsibility of someone's life never needs to be in your hands. I don't give a shit who it is. Even if it's your child, it is not your full responsibility to like make sure that you fix them. You need to refer and get them in the hands of the proper social worker, counselor, therapist, psychiatrist, case manager, speech language pathologist. The other day, someone was talking to me, Spence. Like, oh, hey, I want to talk to you about autism. Like, I'm taking care of this kid, and they're telling me about the parents, and they don't believe in medicine. I was like, uh-oh. They don't believe in therapy. I was like, uh-oh. But they have me working with the kid. I was like, you have no degree in anything. So I'm like, what the fuck are you working on? It's like, yeah, the kid really doesn't talk that well. I was like, need a speech language pathologist for sure. As people know Colin on the podcast, he had one for years, talk with a horrible list, and now he's like pretty good at talking, but he gets weird about it, but he doesn't talk that much. Like, this kid needs services. I was like, is the family poor? Is the family poor? They're like, no, they're rich as shit. I was like, I'm done. I was like, I don't know what to tell you. Like, you're not autism specialist or trained in any of these things. You need to advocate for the kid. I'm starting to get a little pissed. I think they could sense it too. It's your job to refer, folks. So if any of you want to do trainings and you're in college, higher ed, education, healthcare, it's called Mental Health 101 or Mental Health First Aid. That's a lot of awesome trainings that you can do. QPR for all of you. It's usually super free. It's about questioning and referring. So it's just suicide prevention. It's very easy. Some seminars you can go to get you the nomenclature of how to ask people. They've done some studies. If you ask someone, are they suicidal, it drastically reduces the rate of them actually doing it just by asking a simple question. Takes the edge off. They're like, oh, people don't want to talk about that. No. They actually want to be asked. People want to be asked. It's us that have a weird issue about bringing things up. Good luck to my humans in the coming days and weeks and months that are getting ready to have these conversations.
Yep.
Yes, they're trained. I trained them well, so we'll see what happens. The rest is up to the other person. So, we get into this trans story. This person was on HRT, hormone replacement therapy, and a lot of weird physical stuff was going on, mental stuff was going on. They're having some major body dysmorphia, and like it was things were getting weird. You need to have a therapist. I'm not sure if they had one. You need to have a doctor checking in with you every couple of weeks when you're first starting because things are rough, which led them into like this kind of psychosis. It wasn't psychosis, but it was. There was a lot of suicidality, some panic attacks. It was some crazy shit. They were zoned out. The way that he handles it was directly correlated to when God said, you're going to heal so many people. And he's like, no, not me. You got the wrong person. Then immediately after, you were given a gift or a responsibility to help someone heal. I was thinking of folks like me, Spencer, too, but me and Lacey that are wounded healers that have shit, trauma, severe mental health issues, right? There was addiction past. For me, there's a bunch of other weird shit, bunch of anger and aggression issues, violent issues, not to mention just being autistic as fuck and depressed and like and attempting a suicide in my life once. So we go through a lot of shit. But I remember people saying, even though all this shit, I remember this one person saying, you're going to heal so many people. I remember my mother saying it all the time. I was like, you treat me like shit, but yet you say I'm going to be like this God. She treats me like shit because she had her own stuff. But she always knew that I had an ability to make people like feel good and safe. And I think a lot of people don't know how much that means to not only have people tell you that, but also how cool a fucking gift that is to help people heal. And you don't have to monetize everything. Like, you don't have to be a therapist to do it. You can be an awesome, lovely person like Spencer and just sit there with me sometimes when I'm fucking spiraling.
Yeah.
Spencer acts like a tough ass. He is. Yeah, I'm not going to get into it. He's a wonderful person. So, you piece of shit. And I think, Lacey, we have a great responsibility, but also we have gifts. I'm sure that you hate your mind at times. But also that mind has allowed you to also heal other people. And it's like, holy shit. So he goes, the world needs more people like us. And so I know you went through a weird thing in the last year or so. And I feel like just everyone needs to be told the world needs more people like us.
Yep.
Yeah.
I agree. I don't feel like there's a lot of that given to people. I don't think people have the space sometimes to hold, any of that, to speak on any of that. And it's hard. And I feel like we just said, like, Spencer's not in the field, but that doesn't mean that he can't be a major support for someone to validate and support their experiences. And I think more people, friendship wise, should be able to work on those things as well. Obviously, we pick and choose who we can speak on certain things with because we know certain people's thresholds, and that's important, what their boundaries are with stuff. But I think that in friendships, we need to have that reminder and that support in some way, shape, or form.
Yep. I love the whole series and how the story action, how everyone's getting empowered to be who they are. With the last therapist we just talked about, it was like, who are you? What was I made for? And I think every human struggles with that their entire life. But to know that you don't have to be a specialist or a badass or savant, you don't even have to be a verbal to show someone that you love them. And you sure as hell don't always have to sprinkle people with gifts. Pause.
You guys. I love you guys, but I also hate you.
That's usually how any relationship goes.
I love you.
I love you a lot, but you're just a lot.
People are like, I will make people borderline.
Like, yeah, it's pushing.
Yeah, they're like, I wasn't crazy
Where's
before I
the
met you.
breaking point?
What's the breaking point? No, I'm just being for real. Like, sometimes humans, you could just be awesome just by sitting there with someone. And I used to do it all the time with a couple of clients of mine that didn't talk. And we would just sit down and do the puzzle at 5 o'clock after hours. And we would just sit there, and then they would dip out after like 15 minutes of just chilling. It was magnificent. It was one of my favorite humans in my entire life. Their nickname was Teddy Bear Girl, because they always in therapy sat on my 6-foot teddy bear in the office.
Awesome.
Yeah, it was fucking magnificent. And she didn't talk to a lot of people, and a lot of people actually were scared of her because they thought she was stalking them, the fuckers. She's trying to make friends. Besides the point, a lot of growth with individuals, and sometimes we just had to sit there. Even in your art therapy, I assume it's not all going to be talking. It's going to be active and visualizing and doing things, creating things. Doesn't always need to be talking. All right.
Nope.
Spence, you gonna pour any sugar on me? You got anything left?
On you. No, thank you. What I want. No, not gonna say it. Anyways, no, we're good. Lacey, want to give out your plugs before we go?
Yeah, so I have my therapy account, which is above that says at just therapist-y things. So if you want to follow there, I had taken a little hiatus, so there's not anything recent, but I do make a lot of memes and mental health related things. Who knows where I'll take the account moving forward, because I'm going to try to get back into it, but feel free to follow me over there for all things therapy.
Hey, Lacey was doing real good today. They withstood all the bullshit from me. They gave really good therapy insights, and I kept throwing jabs at them.
Yeah.
Someone's not nervous anymore.
Yeah. No, not nervous at all anymore. She was like, fuck these guys.
No, I love it here.
Breakups more often.
Yeah.
It's grounded you.
Maybe next time. No.
Actually,
good.
That might be a thing. Maybe a good thing. Shit did ground you. Everyone needs a good breakup. That's what it sounds like.
You know what? I agree.
Different spectrums. Break up with your partner.
Yeah.
Coming from therapists.
When you break up with them, please sign up, to do therapy with us so we can like monetize it off of that trauma.
Hey, we are now affiliated with BetterHelp. So.
Oh, we are. Yeah, we are. Yeah.
Mental health is great.
Yay. All right. So with that, thank you everybody for watching. Go watch Sex Education, I guess. Yeah. There you go. See? Look at that. Thumbs. Anyways, with that, I'm Spencer. That's Nas. Different Spectrums Podcast.
All right, everyone. Much love. And remember, take care of yourselves.
Or don't.
And that's completely up to you.
Bye.
Peace.